So today, 60 Diesel's big workbench. Obviously I'm out. You know all that anyway. Do you remember the tiny motorcycle? Came in the back of a van, quite summertime, good few months ago. She was seized up, and we sort of mindly dismantled it. I got excited and ordered a load of bits, and then in standard us fashion, it got really busy, and I never got back to my tiny motorcycle. But what I did manage to do, I think probably off the camera, was get me tiny motorcycle deceased. So I've got piston ring, piston is fine, engine gasket set from the Germanies. This is a Puch Magnum X, by the way, like 70s. And after the carburetor has been in a bucket of diesel for like 8 months, that came in part 2, so that is gingerly spread here. So what I'm going to attempt to do today is put my Puch Magnum X back together with all these bits. I even got some exciting new old stock wobbly grip handlebar things, because you needed them, because when they don't go. So I have assembled a load. The tank is clean, we know that. Exhaust is good. Crank start, kick start thing's not bad, has been welded up in here, but we need to clean all this, make all this perfect. And then we need to reassemble it, see if we get any compression, reassemble this carburetor, clean it and reassemble it, that would make more sense, see if we can get it to work. And then we need to take the little flywheel off on the other side here, and see if we can clean the points and the magnetic whirly thing that makes coil stuff. Well, that's a coil, but generates, I suppose just generator that generates current using magnetism to make it spark. Then kick on it a bit and see if it goes. And if it does go, then I need to buy some plastics, because one of them is missing. We have this one, which is that side, I think, but the one for this side is, but they are acquirable. And this one is a bit broken. I managed to even get a new old stock, slightly used but not totally ruined seat, because that had rotted off completely. So here goes motorcycling. There's different content, because we don't normally do motorcycles. So I think my first thing I need to do is I'm going to get cleaning all this stuff to death, so it's clean. Now before we go on to the cleaning of the time lapses and the time lapses cleaning, these are the parts we have. So you will see we have piston. I think the piston is fine for what I want. We need to make one more of these head studs in a minute, because I think the end fell off of it getting it out. The piston ring is just there, so I'm going to try not to lose that. So I have got to reinvent. Maybe I have not got to reinvent that. I've just, that one, that's it. The end snapped off of that one. And then I need to get all this blown out, cleaned up, because obviously there's the head and the spark plug hole. Yeah, I've got the spark plug, haven't we? Make sure all the cooling vents clean and it's as good as it can be. And then this obviously is the bore, which is not bad, but it will want a bit of a clean out. I don't know whether I've got a honer that small. We may have to get inventive, and then I need to get rid of things like all these rocks and stuff stuck in here and get this all cleaned up. Get these faces, because that's obviously, that should be on there, and then that goes in front of there like that. So we've got a new head gasket, got a new block sealant gasket. We've got the gasket to seal this to here. All the little spacer bits and stuff, but as you can see it's a bit dirty, just going to want cleaning out, and we need to make it go all back together. Right, here it goes. Well, we are an entire week later from that last piece of time lapse with me trying to clean this face up here, because I decided the next thing I need to do is have a bit of a clean on my piston, which is here, which is in quite good fettle for what I want. Don't shriek, perfect motorcycle people. Microphone on the chin, Hemsley. And then I was like, so I picked at this little piece here because it's got two rings. So you've got like an L-shaped compression ring and another one coming along behind. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, it's got a crack in it. So I touched it and it fell off. So that ruined the entire idea of last weekend of putting this together. So from these nice people, I have, as long as it fits, I won't break it, a new, genuino whatever it is, spanky L-shaped piston ring for it. So I can actually put it back together now. So I'm on this pissing wet, miserable Friday afternoon. That is what I'm going to do. Whether it will be running by the end of this video, God only knows. So, motorcycle assembling, because I do motorcycle type stuff. So what we have here, obviously, is tiny little cleaned piston. So we've got a new piston ring, and then in here, we have t'other piston ring. So that one is good. There is said broken piston ring. So what I've quickly done is scooched the gudgeon pin out and taken the piston off. Obviously I have my new piston ring just sat there because I didn't want to damage that whilst taking this piston off. It even has an up arrow on it, so I need to clip this tiny little ring in here. Does that fit in there nice enough? Yes. No. We could do with a bit of filing there, couldn't we? I think we could do with a bit of cleaning up there, because I'm not sure that's one. It's not sitting the gap all the way around. No, perhaps I'm worried about something that. Let's just try it. We get tight anywhere around there. No, not really. Actually, now we've got a little, because the bottom ring, you'll see it's got a pin, look, and then he actually fits in one way only around that pin, so that he can't spin. And then I think the top ring may have something of similar. Let me faff around with it a minute. I'm breaking this tiny little thing. Yeah, there's a little cutout groove just there. We'll clean that again, have another look. Well, it's a very ginger tapping. That is in there. You'll see it's got a little up arrow, so we'd assume that this barrel goes on like that, which it does because the exhaust comes out the bottom. There's a little lump missing out of it there, but I don't think it's going to hurt it. The sealing faces are good. And then basically that allows us to move this back past its end of its cylinder, which it will go there. Look at that. So we can slide that on there and then tap the gudgeon pin back in, which is this. We're going to clean this in a minute. So she can go on there like so. Gasket is on. And it'd be easier to line the piston and the con rod back up than it is to try and. Yes, I think a talented man could make that work. Right, so I'm going to get cleaning on this a minute, and then we'll get lubricated, chuck that back in there, and then put the little retaining rings back on, tap her on, and then that's the piston and the barrel back on. Come on, I'm just going to go for using this one. I can get this one in there, can't I? Right, yes I can. Just go up over the top. So, lined up. Yes, that'll go there, won't it? Bit of minor tapping with this. Are you going to go in there, Mr. Piston? Mr. Christian, Mr. Gudgeon pin, no, because you're going off to one side. Handy. So that got that on there. Oh, these useful little pointy arrows. So there's a pointy arrow on this cylinder. That bit's nice and clean. I'm not worried about any of this. So I want it pointing upwards, and then we need our new head gasket, which is here. So basically she goes on there like that. Hopefully you should do. I have to juggle it a wee bit. Yes, there we go. What a beauty. He said, what a beauty. Get in there. It's always a Wurzel song, isn't it? Oh, come on, little Puchimus, whatever you want. Don't wreck me head gasket. Ta-da! Right, so that one on there, like that one. Yes. Now I have made up some new nuts for the cylinder head that, funnily enough, are a bit of a Peugeot 205. So we're going to go over there with a tiny socket. Now I'm sure there's an appropriate torque setting for all of this, but we're not using that. I'm just going to do it up as you would have done when you were 15, 12 years old and you broke your motorcycle. We'll just scooch it down a bit. Because this is tiny engine technology and it won't hurt it. Luckily enough, these new nuts are the ones with a sort of an inbuilt washer, so you haven't got to dangle a nut and a washer trying to get it to go on. It's all as one. Look at that, smooth. Do you not want to go on there then? It's because you fell off down in there, isn't it? That's a waste of time me doing that then, isn't it? Come on, out you come. Here's the end on aerial view. Buggered off to there. Would be a really sensible place to end up, wouldn't it? Yep, we're on with that one. I have one to go. Is that good? Yes. Click, click. Click, click. Or click, click. Click, click. You can hear the compressions escaping already. Oh yeah, that's going to run, isn't it? We can make the rest of it function. Back on this one. Right, so we're going to go on a load of time lapse now, because basically, that box is now junk. That was my piston ring all the way from Italy. I have to put I need this gasket here. I think this is that gasket there, isn't it? Yes. So I want to stick this on here, like so. Not going to fit on there. It's not the nicest of fits, but I think it'll go. Yes. So I'm going to chuck that one on there, brush all the dust off. I've got these two little spacer rings that go, one on there. I'm getting goo all over it, one the other, so we'll put a bit of grease to hold those on there on the kickstart cover, which is here, slightly rejuvenated on, but we're not doing too much to it because even the original with a big lump of weld in there, which seems to work. And then basically we're going to chuck that back on there. We need to throw the exhaust back on. We've got a new gasket for that. There is a new gasket for the top of here, but we haven't disturbed that, so we're probably going to leave those alone, save on those. You never know when you might need them. And then we need to get on to, once we've got that on, we need to reassemble the carburetor, which is cleaned over there, and see if we can get that to function. Make more coffee, and then see if we can get a spark and a broom out of it. So bring on the time lapses. Right, cover on. Cover on, and it's making the right noises and the bits and bobs. I have to try and get this out of here now, put some oil in it, figure out what oil it needs to go in it. So we'll get that done, and then the next thing we're on to is trying to see if we've got any description of sparking. I suppose we could find a spark plug, because in theory it should work. Well, it should be working if it was going to work. We've got everything ooked up over here. Yes, we have a coil, later wiring, kill switch. Haven't got kill switch? So that would be me. Oh yeah, that could be. Well, I suppose we could just sit against the side of the casing and kick it for a laugh, see if it sparks, can we? I wonder if it will. No, I ain't clean nothing. And surprisingly enough, no sparky. Not really surprising. Which one is the kill? That one there, up to there. So that's broken. Let's get you off there and see if you're turned on or turned off. Right, give me a chance to put some oil in it, and then we're on to continuity testing, cleaning of thingy, whatever magnet stuff over there, and seeing if we can get that to function. So basically we've got, obviously, a little coil here. On the far side are a set of magnets. I mean, that's like a stator basically. So the idea being that when you kick it, it generates power this side. Now this may be all cacked up, and there is a set of points. Right, are there a set of points in there? Yeah, so there's a set of points around that side. So and also we've got a kill switch here. So there's an old kill switch on the handle. So basically, I don't think we've got any continuity. Kill switch. So what I'm going to do quickly is clean the points. We'll worst comes to worst, we're going to have to pull this cover off and clean the magnets. But I'm going to take, if it will come out, we'll take the kill switch out the loop because I think it's boogered. So we're going to go direct joining there and there because the kill switch is missing its handle. So we take that wire out of there and that wire out of there, join those two together. Oh, they are even the proper original soldered connections. And I doubt that's going to give us a spark, but it's worth a go. No, I'm going to get a little file and clean on the points. So you'll see there, see move, are a set of points. So we've got a magnet. Well, we've got a coil, a set of magnets around the outside, so when this spins, the idea being that it generates a magnetic pulse, or electricity, we can explain it, but I'm not going to. So basically, in a minute, I'm going to go and clean on these points, make sure they are degacked and function, because they are definitely opening, and then we'll go back kicking on the other side. So a bit of super close up. So we clean the points, we've joined the coil wires together, and if the magnet is functioning as it should, spark. You see it there, look? Right, so in theory, a bit of carburetor cleaning, we're getting somewhere near. Turn fuel on. So we are a few days later again. I have scutchered the exhaust back on. I got a carburetor overhaul kit just to be on the safe side, so I threw that in. And hopefully, in theory, so we've got a new choke flap, we've got fuel, got some exciting electricals. Choke is on. Oh, hang on, it helps if you could kick it, doesn't it? We are running. Bonza. I think we're going to need a bit of tune in there because I don't think we're... Right, leave that ticking over for a bit. I think we'll call that a success. Well, I left it running for 20 minutes, ticking over quite happily. So we've got a few things to attend to, as I said a second ago. The on-off button, she's broken. There is no throttle, this is seized solid. And I was a bit against spending the money to buy a new one until I knew that it was going to work. Now, like I said a second ago, I think we could do with some new tyres. And like you can buy, I've got one side plastic, but it's pretty ropey, but you can buy a new one of these and some new side plastics. I've got some twisty grips, and then once we've got those in, we'll reassemble it completely. And I think we're going to have to find a small person, because I've got a replacement seat. It's not the best, but it's better than the one that was there before. So I've got a good seat pan, because the seat was all right on this, or this is the seat, but the pan had rotted out. So I managed to find an old stock sort of original pan on the internet. And then we'll get it to a point where a small person could use it and have lots of fun. I have a small person in mind. So, and then we'll obviously need to look at things like, we haven't got any brakes. But I'm quite chuffed because I'm not a motorcyclist. So the fact that that goes is quite impressive. Diesel mechanic. Right, thank you very much, Al60. If you haven't been in, gone and had a look at our merchandising shop, www.60diesels.co.uk, and then we'll be on to the next competition prize, which is most likely going to be the big LT35, but we're going to try and get pretty much done before we show it to you, so there may be a little bit of a pause and a lull, and I've got some more exciting stuff coming up. So we've got a Citroën to rescue from France, and we may have acquired something else in France that needs rescuing, so we're going to try and do that early next month. You'll see there's a big black 645i in the background. I think I've acquired the rest of the bits, Tony, to hopefully make the iDrive work, and then you can have that back. Horrible thing. And Fudgy is well on bodywork. He has actually completely primed and prepped the Capri, ready for paint. It's over there, so that will be coming too. And thanks for all your support as always, guys. I'm going to go and wheel my tiny motorcycle somewhere, and that will do me for a Saturday or Sunday. It's a Sunday where you are.